Hey team, Sammer here, Unsportsmanlike Conduct. I know I'm coming at y'all a little bit late with this one. Today is Tuesday, February 1st. Yeah, I was a little busy yesterday. Couldn't really give you my reactions for what happened in the conference championship games, but wow. I mean, amazing games. I'll be honest, the first game was a little bit more entertaining than the second game. Kansas City and the Bengals. That was nuts. Joe Burrow, I mean, the real deal. I mean, how can you say otherwise anymore? Patrick Mahomes fell apart in the second half and in overtime. I don't know what happened there. He looked like he lost confidence, honestly. It sucks because he was playing amazing in the first half. I mean, maybe that last pass before halftime with 3 seconds left, Tyreek Hill, maybe that seemed to throw him off a little bit. I don't know. Or the Bengals, I mean, gotta give them credit. Maybe they got it together, started pressuring him. I mean, he was still evading like he was running around, but he started running backwards instead of forwards and getting yards, because in the first half he was getting yards with his legs, and last week too. And when he does that, I guess he gets more confident, but I guess he couldn't do that in the second half, and it all kind of fell apart. I didn't expect it. I know it's exactly what happened in the first time they played in week 17, but I mean, yeah, they scored 3 points in the second half this week, last week, and in week 17 against the Bengals. The Bengals came back from 11 points down and just won the game. I mean, it was incredible. I remembered something that happened when Joe Burrow was declaring for the draft, and a lot of the fans, not Cincinnati fans obviously, but a lot of media people, this might have been just a media narrative, but they were saying they believe Joe Burrow should not declare for the draft that year just to avoid getting to Cincinnati. Look at him now. He's probably saying, look at me now. Oof. 2 years in. First year he got injured halfway through the season. Second year is in the Super Bowl. I did not stutter. Did you hear me? He is in the Super Bowl in his second year as a first-round pick, as a first overall pick. That's ridiculous. With a team that no one, including myself, had any hopes for getting anywhere. We felt that they got into the playoffs as a just luck, you know, because Baltimore, Lamar Jackson was injured. Cleveland didn't play up to their par, if you may. And we're like, well, I guess Cincinnati just went in on a technicality. I mean, because no one else could get in from that division. But oh my God, they're in the Super Bowl. It's impressive. It's amazing. I didn't expect it. I'm happy it's happening. I didn't honestly have Kansas City going all the way. I wanted them to win another Super Bowl, just because a lot of people are like, oh, are they a dynasty? Are they a dynasty? But to me, what defines a dynasty isn't really how many you win. It's about how many times you get there. It's about being the team that everybody wants to beat. That's what makes a dynasty to me, not, oh, I won 7 Super Bowls in a row, because that's impossible. Even Tom Brady couldn't do that. He's won 7 in his whole career over 22 years. Which, obviously, I'm not saying that like, oh, that's not much, but it's not 22 Super Bowls in a row. But being the team to beat is what makes a dynasty to me. And Kansas City is in that dynasty discussion, because everyone is building teams to beat Kansas City. If they can't beat Kansas City, then they think, well, then yeah, they didn't construct their team properly. The Bills did everything they could to construct their team to beat Kansas City, and they still couldn't. I don't know what the Bengals have that makes Kansas City their kryptonite, that makes them Kansas City's kryptonite. But I definitely want to do a deep dive into figuring out what happened besides Mahomes losing confidence, because can that be the only thing that happened? I don't know, but I do believe Kansas City is in a dynasty. I don't believe that being a dynasty means you win every year, but being the team to beat, being that team that's put on a pedestal every year, which Kansas City is before the season starts, They're always a Super Bowl favorite. They're going to be a Super Bowl favorite next year too, just because of who they are. Maybe they need to get their defense a little better, because that was a big problem for them. I mean, if you remember Tom Brady's teams that were a dynasty, it wasn't just him. I mean, they beat the Rams 13-3 in the Super Bowl. Come on. First of all, that's a terrible Super Bowl, and I never want to watch a Super Bowl like that again. It's because you want action, you want scoring, you want craziness. It was foggy, it was an ugly game. It just didn't work. It was a bad game. That was the one in Atlanta, so good job, Atlanta. But can you imagine Patrick Mahomes playing a 13-3 game, only scoring 13 points or 3 points for that matter? It would be terrible, and I don't see it happening. But I do think that they're still the team to beat, no matter what. If you beat Kansas City, you always have a chance. And the Bengals beat Kansas City, and they have a chance. Now to the Rams, on the other side, that was a good game. Jimmy Garoppolo is not the guy, though. They're going to move off him this year. I think they'll get a second-round pick. He played amazingly, as well as he can. He did everything he was asked to do, but he's just not there. I think building a team around him like Shanahan did, using him to his advantages, is the best you can do with him. And it's the same thing with, I think he's, on par with Baker Mayfield, with Kirk Cousins, quarterbacks of that caliber, where you have to build around them. You have to build to accentuate what they're good at, and to have them manage the game, but have them throw every now and then to obviously keep the game in, but they can't throw every possession. So they're not the Aaron Rodgers, the Burrows, the Mahomes, the Josh Allen, Herbert, but they're in a class below that. And Matt Ryan, I believe, was in that class as well, where you build around them. You give them a strong running game, you give them a strong offensive line, some receiving weapons who aren't going to be picky when they don't get 11, 12, 13 targets a game, some strong, good tight ends, and a good defense, which I know is a lot, but football's a team game. And if not for Cincinnati's defense, I mean, Joe Burrow would just be throwing touchdowns and not winning games, but it's a team game. Yes, his offensive line isn't great, but he's able to evade that. But he's not on the field when the defense is on the field. And they're playing surprisingly well. I'm surprised, but I mean, a lot of it is, feeding off momentum. If you you have a chance to win, you just you go hard, you give it everything you got, you get it together. If you're not going to win, I'll take Washington for example. They had Taylor Heineke as their quarterback, and they're like, we know, there's really no hope. And the defense played very bad this year. I don't think they're as bad as they played. I think they had an off season, a down season, a lack of momentum season. I think if they went out and got a Jimmy Garoppolo and he started bringing his energy around the stadium and around the locker room, I think it'll energize everybody, and they'll all at least believe they have a chance. If you believe you have a chance, I believe you'll play better. And a lot of teams don't have that belief, because they know that if their quarterback can't get them there, then, they're like, oh, man, how can we give it our all? So I understand it. It's really tough to deal with. And Jimmy Garoppolo is a guy who people love. His teammates talk so highly about him. And don't get me wrong, teammates are never going to really talk smack about their quarterback or about the teammate to the media, because it's a brotherhood. But it seems like they totally love each other. I mean, the GM went up and hugged Jimmy Garoppolo after that loss, and because they both knew they gave it everything he did, and they're going to be parting ways. We'll see what Trey Lance does next year, but the question is he better than Jimmy Garoppolo? Can he take them to the next level with this current team that they have? I mean, they have a very solid team, and we saw how far Jimmy took them. We'll see how far Trey Lance takes them. If he's as good as we believe he is, then he could take them further. Maybe not in year one, but moving forward. Really happy for Matt Stafford, though, for winning. Before this season, he had 0 playoff wins in 13 seasons. Now he has 3. And he's in the Super Bowl. That is crazy. Who would have expected him to win a Super Bowl? I mean, maybe the script was written. Tom Brady won in a home game Super Bowl, first time ever played in a home game Super Bowl. And here we go in the second year. Matt Stafford's playing in a home game Super Bowl for the second time ever. And in his first Super Bowl and in his first playoff run. I've been hearing a lot of the stuff about has the Stafford move already paid off? And I'm like, why is this conversation even happening? The season isn't even over yet. Like, you shouldn't. Like, I think it's just people just trying to find topics to talk about before, like, because they're running out of topics. But you know what? I'm not even gonna give that an answer because the season's not over yet. Once the season ends, I'll talk about if the Matt Stafford trade was worth it. In the meantime, thanks for listening.